What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we are reviewing this beautiful beast. It's 2021 and today I'm going to be going over the reasons why you should still be interested in the 2012 McLaren MP4 12C. So the main reason why this car is such a bargain in 2021 is because of the price point. Normally supercars in general tend to depreciate over time, just like any car. But this car has now hit in a spot where it's kind of starting to plateau, and this is why you should potentially just start buying now. The prices are only going to go up from here on out. So this is a British supercar, so pretty much what that means is the trunk is in the front. So it's called a frunk, or a boot if you want to call it in Britain. So either way, it's got the beautiful lines. The McLaren comes with it. Now the cool thing about this car in particular was this is the first McLaren that pretty much went to the mainstream production line since the McLaren F1. This body style kind of matured into the 570, the 720, and pretty much all the McLarens you see now. As we move over to the side of the car, you have some beautiful carbon fiber rear view mirrors. And the coolest thing about this car, usually when it comes to like an American car like a Dodge Challenger or something like that, the vents are pretty much the air scoops are in the front of the car, pushing air into the engine. Well, this is a British car. The engine is in the back. So how do they get to the back? Well, you have some vents here that come in through the side, which you're always wondering, like, man, these cool lines. Well, actually, no, they're actually functional. The air goes into here and pushes into the engine, which is in the back of the car. Now, this engine is a 3.8 liter V8 engine. Now, normally these come with 592 horsepower, but this one in particular has been upgraded to the 616 horsepower. And I promise you, you feel every bit of that horsepower. With this engine comes a top speed of 215 miles an hour. I don't even know if any car you ever driven can do that, Rich. Can you? No? All right, I thought so. Either way, a little bit different here. If you look at the back here, you have your exhaust in the middle of the car. Normally, exhausts are at the bottom, but this one is obviously in the middle, in the trunk of the car, or where the trunk would be. So here, it's not your normal spoiler. This is an actual functioning spoiler. When I say functioning, it actually moves. This actually moves up, give a nice brake force, so whenever you hit that brake, this is gonna move up, tilt up, and do everything you need to kind of stop. As we go over to the engine bay, pretty much, like, it's pretty weird here you say that, right? The engine bay is in the back of the car. But if you open this up, there's your engine. It's the neatest thing in the world. You got your oil. Normally where you would change your oil is right over here. And then you also have for your, basically your coolants and things like that. Now, talking with Justin, if you want to change your oil, you can go to a dealership and it's going to cost you probably around $600 to replace that. Or you can do it yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to have to lift this car up, and then there's 8 plugs that you're gonna have to unplug in order to drain all your oil. I'd rather just go to the dealership. A quirky, cool thing about this car is actually how you open the door. Now, the 2012 does not come with the handle. You actually have to slide your hand under the door. Now, the newer model, the 2013, 2014, it comes with a button, versus this one does not have a button. And it comes with some skill, if you would. This is a supercar, so you kind of want to be kind of careful, you would think. And I was doing this and that because I didn't want to mess anything. I didn't want to scratch anything, but it actually takes a man. I mean, you got to like cup it, and it still didn't work with me. See that? When you open up this door, you have 2 buttons here. First off, this button right here would open up your hood in the back for your engine, and this right here would put it in tow mode. So if you press this button and you need to get it towed, it won't look like it's getting stolen. So from here, let's go ahead and check out the interior. Another weird thing before we get in is getting in the car. This car is not cool to get into. Yeah, not gonna work. No, not the best way.
I shot like this one time with Paris Hilton getting in a car.
Oh, but it was Britney Spears. Britney Spears. There's a lot of action down here. So, Reg, make sure you don't zoom into that, all right? Oh my gosh. So when we step up in here, the first thing we see is the steering wheel. The very sporty look. After all, you are in a race car. There better be a sporty look. Now, the steering wheel, it's a little bit small, but it feels great because you have control of the car. You have carbon fiber throughout the center of it. You have that nice McLaren logo that is very nice. Your gauge cluster is pretty nice and big in front of you, which I really do like. You can see the RPMs right in front of you. So when you're playing around and shifting, it's excellent. So the seats in this car are actually really comfortable. They're not bad considering it is a sports car. You do feel like you're hugged. You know, you have the bolsters right there grabbing on my hips. So if you eat Taco Bell before this, you're gonna feel every bit of that bolster hugging the side of your hips. Now another thing is you got carbon fiber throughout the whole dash. You have carbon fiber here on your door panel, and then you also have carbon fiber here down the center stack. Now this is pretty much where it gets really cool about McLaren. You have a nice skinny screen here. You go down here, you have all your dials to kind of handle the infotainment center. Your start engine is here. Normally with American cars, you usually have your start button here, but this is actually where you would handle your side view mirrors, and then over here you have your windshield wipers and things like that. So it is kind of different to get used to, but it's cool because it's all here in the middle. Now we got our parking brake here, so normally you just pull this up to put it in park, and then also you push it down so you release it. Also you have your drive, your neutral, and your reverse, so it's kind of simple and straightforward. So I'm learning something here with supercars. You're gonna have to take control and be a man with this car. So pretty much you got to pull and yank this thing open, but look, it's kind of tight. I mean, you're lucky to even fit a cell phone in here, maybe some sunglasses. So yeah, this car is only for racing and not for cell phones. Something that's pretty innovative about this car itself is that you got two functioning air vents. Now when I say that, basically Reggie can control his AC on his side, I can control my AC on my side. Now newer cars do have that feature. You can kind of control your heater and your AC, but you can also control the pressure of the AC pushing out, which you don't see that in new cars nowadays. So we know what it looks like, we know what it costs, so let's see how it drives. Let's see how this baby sounds. First off, foot on the brake. Oh yeah. So what I love about this car is normally when it comes to, like I said, I'm used to driving a Dodge Challenger all the time. You have a very wide window here, right? Windshield. So pretty much with the Dodge Challenger, the hood is kind of high up. So therefore you can't see the road in front of you per se. You can kind of see ahead. With this car, the hood is swooped down the way it forms. So you literally see the road literally right in front of you. It's a very nice feeling, and it's so responsive. It never gets old. So 0 to 60 is around 3.2 seconds, but there is reports everybody doing 2.8, 2.9, 0 to 60, and I'll be honest with you, I think this is 2.8 because that was quick. That was pretty quick. Now these McLarens only come in automatics, all right, so keep in mind if you're looking for a manual, it's not going to work. There is paddle shifters here, which are pretty light, and it's pretty responsive. I was playing around with it the other day, and it's so welcoming. Now there's one thing about this car that I will say right off the bat. It is a very welcoming supercar. I figured the first time I drove this car, I was very intimidated by it, but as I get used to it, this is probably my third time driving this car, and this time around I just feel like I've been driving this car for a year. It's just very welcoming. You know, I don't feel kind of intimidated by it no more. The braking, not clunky at all. This car hugs the road. I mean, it's pretty nimble. Now what about cup holders? All right, practicality, right? Where's the practicality in this? Well, believe it or not, there is cup holders. Even though you don't see it in the middle here, it's pretty similar to a pickup truck. It's behind this center stack here. If you see there, it's kind of small, but hey, it's enough to get your Starbucks, your mochas, and you know, whatever your venti. Yes. That is so flippin' fast. You don't even notice how fast you're going until you look down. Holy cow. I found a flaw here, Reg, and that is the steering wheel and the actual paddle shifter. You can accidentally hit these paddle shifters pretty quickly by accident, so just be very careful when you're doing that. Another thing is really cool is the actual field of view. It's got a great side view mirror, so I can see pretty closely to the back. Also, the rear view mirror is actually pretty helpful. You would think you can't see out of it, like Dodge Challengers are a pain in the butt, but this one's pretty impressive. Now as far as the road goes, it is a pretty comfortable ride considering what it is, but you can't feel the road. You can't feel every bit of it. I can tell you if it's, you know, heads or tails. Whoa! The freaking turbos think whenever you're doing a rolling start, it's kind of not as exciting. But when you're starting from zero, I feel like it's like winding up and then shoots you out. Oh, that is the fastest 30 miles per hour I've ever been a part of. Reg, how you doing with the camera, man? I don't even know.
I really don't know how it hasn't flown out of my
You have been doing a really good job of holding it. Reg, highlight to the MVP here, Reggie the cameraman. He is killing it. So we'll wrap up this video, guys. I mean, obviously the car is an excellent buy. It is 2021, and I do honestly believe you should buy this car now. From here, you can probably get this car for $100,000, $109,000, in the low hundreds. So right now, this is the time to buy. They're not going to go down anymore. And I mean, you get all of the performance of a supercar. It's just excellent. And you get the looks. I promise you, every single time we go out to Justin, this car automatically has a crowd around it. Whenever we leave a restaurant, whatever, there's always people around it. So this does give you the supercar looks. The McLaren colors on this car is amazing. And I promise you, everybody we drive by right now is looking at us and probably thinking, what do they do for a living? It don't get old. It don't get old.